Hey everyone, in this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Abraham Lincoln wheat penny you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these Lincoln wheat pennies so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. So let's get started. First up, the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most recognized coins in American numismatic history. First struck in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The series ran until 1958 and is still a favorite among collectors worldwide. Each coin carries not just monetary value, but also a connection to the history and culture of the United States in the first half of the 20th century. The coin we are looking at today is a 1949 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It is described as having a thick line detail, being in fine condition, and showing scratches from circulation. While it may not be one of the rarest pieces in the wheat penny series, it still holds a place of importance for collectors and those who appreciate American coinage. The year 1949 came just after World War II, a period when the United States was adjusting to peace and entering an era of economic growth. Pennies were still a staple in everyday commerce, used in payphones, candy machines, and daily transactions. More than 217 million wheat cents were minted at Philadelphia that year. So the 1949 cent without a mint mark is not considered rare. However, condition, die varieties, and eye appeal can all affect how much collectors are willing to pay for an individual coin. Your coin is described as having a thick line. In numismatics, small design differences or die characteristics often become points of interest for collectors. Some 1949 cents show thicker lines in the date or lettering due to the way the dies were made or worn. While not an official major variety, collectors sometimes notice these differences and set them aside. If it turns out to be a recognized variety or double die, that could add a small premium. But generally, the presence of a thicker line does not automatically raise the value by a large amount unless it is certified as a distinct die variety. Condition is the main factor. In fine condition, a 1949 wheat penny shows moderate wear. Lincoln's portrait will still be visible, but details in his hair and cheek will be worn smooth. On the reverse, the wheat ears will be visible, but lacking sharp lines, and the words 1 cent and United States of America will remain bold enough to read clearly. Scratches and dirt from circulation lower the eye appeal further, and collectors prefer coins without damage. That said, a fine condition coin with scratches is still collectible as a filler in a wheat penny set. In today's market, the value of a 1949 Philadelphia wheat cent in fine condition with scratches is generally between 5 cents and 20 cents. It is worth more than its face value, but is not rare enough to command higher prices in worn condition. Better examples in very fine or extremely fine condition may sell for 50 cents or more. Uncirculated examples were the original mint. Luster is still present and nowhere is visible, often bring $2 to $5. Red uncirculated coins with bright color can bring $10 to $20 or more, especially in high certified grades. The most valuable 1949 pennies are those graded mint state 67 or higher with full red color, which can sell for hundreds of dollars at major auctions. It is also worth noting that 1949 wheat pennies exist from other mints as well. The Denver and San Francisco issues, marked with D or S mint marks, had lower mintages than Philadelphia. The 1949S in particular can be harder to find in high grade, and collectors pay a premium for those. But the Philadelphia no mint mark issue remains the most common of the 3. Auction markets today show that circulated 1949 Philadelphia cents in average condition do not sell individually for more than a few cents over face value. They are often included in bulk wheat cent lots, where thousands of common date coins are sold together for collectors to search through. However, Well-preserved examples or certified high-grade coins continue to attract demand. Collectors who are building complete Lincoln cent albums need the 1949 issue. So even a worn example, like yours, still has a place in the collecting world. While the scratches and dirt on your coin may lower its value, it does not take away from its significance. Every coin carries history. This 1949 cent has passed through countless hands, perhaps used to buy candy, newspapers, or rides on a streetcar. Each scratch tells a part of its journey. For many collectors, the sentimental or historical value of a wheat cent is just as important as its price in dollars. Next up, the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most important and beloved coins in American history. It made its first appearance in 1909. And this was not just another coin, but a historic issue that marked the first time a real person appeared on a regular circulating United States coin. Up until then, most designs had featured symbolic figures, such as Liberty. But in 1909, to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the United States Mint introduced a new cent that honored the 16th president. The coin was an immediate success, and more than a century later, the Lincoln cent is still being struck, making it the longest-running coin design in American coinage history. The particular coin we are talking about today is the 1909 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin is significant because it comes from the very first year of the Lincoln cent series. Collectors place a lot of importance on first-year issues, and the 1909 cent stands out as a landmark in U.S. numismatics. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 72 million of these coins, so while it is not the rarest of all wheat cents, its first-year status makes it highly collectible. There are actually a few different new types of 1909 cents. Some have the designer Victor David Brenner's initials, VDB, on the reverse along the bottom rim. These 1909 VDB cents are very popular and can bring strong premiums. The version without the VDB initials is the one we are discussing here. These were struck in very large numbers once the mint removed the initials after public criticism. So the 1909 without VDB is the most common of the first-year issues. Still, it remains an essential coin for anyone who is building a complete Lincoln cent collection. Now let us consider the condition of your coin. You describe it as being in extra fine condition with some scratches. Extra fine is a relatively high circulated grade. On a coin in this grade, Lincoln's hair and cheek still show most of their detail, and the lettering and date are bold and sharp. The reverse, with the two wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America, will show strong lines, though the very highest points may show light wear. Extra fine coins often appeal to collectors because they retain a lot of design detail while still being affordable compared to mint state coins. However, scratches can reduce the value because they take away from the overall eye appeal and can make a coin less desirable for someone who wants a clean example. In today's market, 1909 Philadelphia wheat cent without the VDB initials, in extra fine condition, generally sells for about $5 to $15. Coins with light, minor circulation marks are usually toward the lower end of this range, while cleaner, sharper examples reach the higher end. If your coin has noticeable scratches, that can place it closer to $5. The exact price depends on how deep and distracting the scratches are, since collectors pay more for coins that look attractive even at the same grade. For comparison, in higher grades, the value increases steadily. An uncirculated 1909 wheat penny without VDB can sell for $22.50 in brown color, with red examples bringing even more. Gem red pieces certified at MS65 or higher can sell for several $100s, reflecting their scarcity. On the other hand, coins in lower grades such as good or very good may sell for just $1 or $2. This shows how much condition and eye appeal influence the market value of early Lincoln cents. Another important point is that while the Philadelphia issue is common, collectors still need it to complete their sets. Many Lincoln cent collections are built year by year and mint by mint, and no collection is complete without the first year. 1909. This steady demand helps keep its value higher than many later common wheat cents, even in circulated grades. Auction. Listings today often show 1909 Philadelphia cents selling quickly, even when worn, because of their special place in the series. Next up, the Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most collected coins in United States history. And even common dates, like the 1952 Denver issue, tell an important story about mid-20th century America. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the wheat cent ran until 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, with its simple obverse portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse. The coin became one of the most iconic and enduring designs in American coinage. The particular coin we are looking at today is a 1952 wheat cent with a D Mint mark, which tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint. In that year, the Denver facility struck more than 746 million wheat cents. That massive mintage means the 1952D penny is not a rare date in the series. In fact, it is among the more common mid-century wheat cents, and because so many were produced and survived, the value depends almost entirely on condition and eye appeal. Your coin is described as being dirty, showing scratches, and falling into circulated condition. Circulated coins, especially those that have visible marks, typically fall into lower grades, such as good, very good, fine, or at best, very fine. Collectors usually prefer coins that are clean and sharp because they display the design more clearly and look better in albums. Dirt and scratches reduce eye appeal, which lowers collector demand. Still, even a circulated 1952D penny has some collectible interest, because it is part of the wheat cent series that so many hobbyists build by year and mint mark. In today's market, the value of a 1952D wheat penny in worn, dirty, and scratched condition is usually between 5 cents and 20 cents. That is more than its face value, but not by much, because the coin is common and the condition lowers demand. Coins in similar circulated grades but with cleaner surfaces might bring a quarter or a little more. When we move up into better condition, the value rises steadily. A 1952D penny in extremely fine condition with no major problems can sell for around 50 cents. An about uncirculated coin with much of its original detail still present may bring $1 or slightly more. Uncirculated examples are where the real premiums appear. Mint state coins with original luster typically sell for $2 to $5. Bright red examples where the copper color has been preserved can sell for $10 or more in mint state. 65 condition. At the highest grades, certified gems can reach $50 or higher, though those are far less common because most coins entered circulation quickly after minting. It is also worth mentioning that there are occasional error varieties from the 1952 Denver production run. Collectors have reported doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and other striking errors. These varieties can bring significantly more money depending on rarity and demand, sometimes tens or even hundreds of dollars. However, scratches and dirt are not mint errors. They are simply post-mint damage that lowers value. To determine whether your coin might be an error, it would need to be carefully examined under magnification. The history behind this coin also adds to its interest. In 1952, the United States was still in the post-World War II period of economic growth. The penny remained an important coin in daily life, used for public phones, candy, transportation, and countless small purchases. Millions of Americans carried Wheat cents like your 1952D in their pockets every day, though they are common. They carry nostalgia for a time when a penny had real purchasing power and the wheat design was a familiar sight in everyday commerce. Auction listings today confirm. The value ranges. Large quantities of circulated 1952D pennies are often sold in bulk lots, where collectors pay by the roll or by the pound. In those settings, individual coins like yours are generally valued just above face value. Higher-grade coins, however, attract more attention, especially if they have full red luster. Certified gems often bring strong bids from collectors who want the very best examples for their registry sets. Next up, the Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most collected coins in the history of the United States, and every year and mint mark tells part of a larger story. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat cent ran until 1958 and remains a cornerstone of coin collecting today. The coin we are focusing on here is the 1955 Lincoln cent with the D Mint mark. Struck at the Denver Mint, it is described as being in very fine condition with some scratches. And understanding its place in the series, as well as its current market value, requires a closer look at both its history and its condition. By 1955, the wheat cent had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades. The design by Victor David Brenner had become familiar to millions of Americans. With Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the 2 wheat stalks framing the denomination on the reverse, the Denver Mint was a major producer of cents during this time, and in 1955 it struck more than 563 million wheat pennies with the D Mint mark. This high mintage means that the 1955D penny is considered a common date, and millions still survive today in circulated condition. Your coin is described as being in very fine condition with scratches. Very fine is a mid-level circulated grade, and on a wheat penny in this grade, the portrait of Lincoln will still show most of its details, but there will be noticeable wear on his cheekbone, jaw, and hair. The reverse will have wheat ears that are visible but not sharp, and the lettering will remain strong and easy to read. Coins in very fine condition are appealing because they still display clear detail but are much more affordable than uncirculated examples. However, scratches on the surfaces lower the overall eye appeal and reduce collector demand. Collectors prefer coins that are free from damage, so scratches typically keep a coin's value on the lower end of the scale. In today's market, a 1955D wheat penny in very fine condition with scratches is generally worth around 10 cents to 25 cents. That is a small premium over its face value, reflecting the fact that it is a common date and available in large numbers. Without scratches, a coin in very fine condition might sell closer to 30 or 40 cents. This demonstrates how important eye appeal is when collectors decide what they are willing to pay. When we move up the grading scale, values increase. In extremely fine condition, a 1955D penny may bring 50 cents or a little more. In about uncirculated grades, where only light wear remains, the value can reach $1 or slightly higher. Mint state coins, which show no circulation wear and still retain original luster, are where the larger premiums appear. Typical uncirculated examples can sell for $2 to $5, while bright red coins in Mint State 65 may sell for $10 to $20. The very best certified red gems in Mint State 67 can bring $50 or more at auction. Since they are scarcer and in demand for high-end collections, it's worth noting that 1955 is a famous year in Lincoln cent history because of the famous 1955 doubled die obverse, one of the most dramatic and sought-after errors in U.S. coinage. Those doubled die coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and do not carry a mint mark. They show extreme doubling in the date and lettering on the obverse and can sell for thousands of dollars. The Denver issue, however, does not include that doubled die variety. and the 1955D is a separate, much more common coin. Still, collectors often associate the year 1955 with the famous double die, which brings extra attention to all pennies from this date. Auction sales today confirm that 1955D wheat cents in circulated condition, especially those with scratches, typically sell for only a little over face value. They are often found in bulk wheat cent lots where rolls or bags of common dates are sold together. Individual very fine examples may not bring more than a quarter, but high-grade uncirculated pieces with strong red color still attract collectors and sell for several dollars. Next up, the Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics, and few dates are as instantly recognized as the 1944 issue. Produced during the final years of World War II, the 1944 cent holds a special place in history because of both its timing and its composition. The coin we are discussing today is a 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It is described as having a red color shade, but also being in damaged condition with scratches. Even in this state, it tells an important story about its time, and its value today depends heavily on these details. The year 1944 was a turning point in world history. The United States was fully engaged in the war effort and coin production. Reflected this, in 1943, the Mint had experimented with steel cents coated in zinc to save copper for the war. However, those steel cents were unpopular because they rusted easily and were often mistaken for dimes. In 1944, the Mint returned to using copper for pennies, but instead of new copper, much of the metal came from recycled shell casings collected from the battlefields. This makes the 1944 cent not only a coin of commerce, but also a coin tied directly to the wartime story of sacrifice and recycling. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 1.4 billion cents in 1944, one of the highest mintages in wheat penny history. Because of this huge number, the 1944 Philadelphia cent is not considered rare. It is very common in circulated condition and is often found in bulk lots of wheat cents. However, collectors still value it because of its history and because every date in the wheat cent series is needed to complete a collection. Your coin is described as being in red color shade, but also in damaged condition with scratches. In numismatics, color is very important for copper coins. Lincoln cents are graded not only by wear, but also by their color: brown, red-brown, or red. A red cent is one that has retained much of its original mint color, the bright orange-red tone of newly struck copper. Red coins are far more desirable to collectors than brown ones, especially in higher grades. However, when a coin is damaged whether from scratches, dents, cleaning, or environmental exposure, its value drops significantly, even if it has good color. In today's market, a 1944 Philadelphia wheat cent in damaged condition with scratches generally sells for about 5 cents to 20 cents. The fact that it has a red shade could help a little, but because it is damaged, collectors will see it as a low-grade example. For comparison, a 1944 cent in average circulated condition without damage typically brings around 10 to 25 cents. Extra fine examples might sell for 50 cents, and uncirculated coins can range from $1 to $5. Certified red gems in mint state 65 or higher can bring $10 to $20. And at the very highest levels, some have sold for more than $100. This shows just how much condition and eye appeal matter. The most valuable 1944 cents are not the regular copper ones, but the famous errors. A small number of 1944 cents were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchettes from 1943. These rare steel cents are extremely valuable, sometimes selling for tens of thousands of dollars. Similarly, there are a few 1944D cents struck on zinc-coated steel planchettes that bring even higher prices. Unfortunately, Coins in damaged condition that are simply copper with scratches do not fall into that category. Still, collectors sometimes test 1944 pennies to make sure they are not one of the rare steel varieties, because the value difference is so great. Auction records show that damaged 1944 Philadelphia cents rarely sell individually for more than a few cents. They are often grouped into bulk lots where dealers sell hundreds of common wheat cents together for collectors to search through. Attractive, uncirculated red coins, however, do draw strong bidding, showing the wide range of values depending on condition. Even if your coin does not have high market value, it still carries significance as a piece of American history. It was minted at a time when soldiers were fighting overseas and Americans at home were recycling metal and rationing supplies to support the war effort. This penny could have been used to buy a newspaper reporting on DID, a candy bar for a child waiting for their father to return from the front, or a bus fare in a busy American city. Every scratch on its surface is part of that journey.